Aries ascendant, Aries rising. How are you? Let me know. I know you guys have been going through a hard time. I know you guys have been going through a lot of struggles, a lot of anger, a lot of fight, a lot of frustration. Planet Mars is in the sign of Aries. It's getting tough right now. Like we thought it was tough before, and I know it's really tough now because Mars is at a crawl. Mars is on the ground doing the commando crawl. And it's not happy. It would rather be standing up and running and going full throttle. That's what Mars likes to do. It's on the ground. It's got the knife in its teeth sideways, and it's in the mud, and it's doing the commando crawl, and it can't see what's going on, and it wants to go further, but it can't because its head is up against like a wall, and it's just, it can't move. It's frustrated. And unfortunately, it will likely be very strong, like the first part of September and going like September 8th, September 9th, Mars stands still because it then begins its retrograde. So, energetic walk through with you. I am here with you. It probably doesn't seem like it, right? Because like I'm here and you're there and we're really far apart, aren't we? But I'm looking at you on paper. So Mars is in your first house. The good thing about this is that by Mars being in your first house right now, it strengthens our physical body, helps your physical body, so to speak. But in essence, Mars is squaring Saturn. And so Saturn is our backbone. Saturn is our spine. It is the structures of our body, the bones, literally, because Mars also is all about inflammation and heat in the body. So what we're going to do is take a walk and we're going to try to and look at the beautiful things. Find the beautiful things about this month because we do have Jupiter standing still this month and then going direct. At the end of the month, Saturn will stand still and go direct. And what happens is when planets are retrograding, we feel them stronger. So the good news is that at the end of the month, Saturn and Jupiter will be moving direct. This is good. Because if Saturn is standing still, that means the rules, the regulations are stronger, are harder, right? And so it's like, oh gosh, more rules, more regulations, okay? But Saturn moving forward means there will be a change of some sort. Now, does that mean no more rules? I highly doubt it. There may be an adjustment in the rules, okay? But before we get there, we had a full moon right at the beginning of the month, and it was the full moon of Pisces. It was at 10 degrees. And then we had Uranus at 10 degrees. I have a video out that's about it. I will attach it below. Make sure you go watch it, even though it's past already. Is if you had elevated emotions that day, if you felt like you were having a mental meltdown, I've read a lot of people commenting saying that, frustration and just hot waters, right? Hot waters, whether it was with a spouse, whether it was at the job, at work, with just complete strangers, just emotionally, right? A lot of parents facing a lot of turmoil and frustration because kids got to go back to school and they're saying, hey, I think I want to teach my kid at home. And then the whole frustration with that, dealing with that, like, oh my God, I don't know how to do this. And then realizing, oh gosh, yeah, so it's not about a wrong or right. It's about what's better for you and your family. What is better for you, okay? And how do you stay safe? How do you keep your children safe? But all of that creates a lot of frustration and turmoil because there's that uncertainty. It's like, oh my God, I have these options, but I'm not sure which one's going to be the best option. All this uncertainty, there's anxiety. Having that full moon creates that because it's a culmination of emotions. But typically it was about ending something. It was about a closure on something. And this is huge. This was huge because the moon itself is a watery thing, all right? It's emotions. It's already emotional, right? Because it's the Cancerian full moon, even though it was in Pisces energy. So before I make this way too confusing, all we need to know is we had water and water. And so that's emotions and emotions. So that means elevated emotions, more elevated than normal. So there may have been individuals in your life, especially for the Piscean people, like if you're a Pisces sun, because it would have affected you in a way that was not so hot. It would have affected you in a way where you have been a little melodramatic, a little overdramatic about events, about things in your life. But what that does is it means that some other people, whether they're Pisces or not, are dramatic, over, right? Just, it takes it to the other side. It becomes the great actor. Great salespeople, if you look at politicians' charts, they usually have some significant stuff in Pisces energy, believe it or not. And so that's something to think about. Actors and politicians. this is what happens, right? The beginning of September, elevated emotions, Mars at a crawl, so things are getting hot. There's a lot of fight. There's a lot of might. There's a lot of, you're not going to tell me what I can or can't do with my body. There's a lot of abuses in power that we're seeing because it's Mars squaring Pluto energy. And so we're trying to figure out how to navigate that, but yet how to stay detached, but yet understand that we're passionate about this, but how to stay safe, how to function in this world, how to be the unique individual and still be able to go forward with the goals of the group, and at the same time knowing what I need for me and what I need for my family. And so this is hard because there can be division in the family. This hits home in ways I can't even talk about for you. You know, you hear me speaking about it, but at the same time, I don't have Cancer energy in my 4th house. You do. And so that Piscean moon affected the home life because it was Cancer energy, and that's where the full moon was, and that moon controls your 4th house. And this is so mom, nurturing, family, motherhood, all these issues, my family, my small family, my big family, all these issues being squared by your Mars energy. So all of this has to do with your emotions squaring your body. Okay. And so your emotions squaring your body is, oh my gosh, I don't feel good here. And then it expresses, it manifests here in the physical body. But we want to be able to move past that. We want to be able to know that that's not going to be forever. And it's not. It's not going to be forever. I know it's tough, and I'm not promising that there are better times soon. There will be better times in December. At the end of December, Mars leaves Aries. And so what will happen is it will no longer square your Cancer energy. It will no longer square your home. And that will be good. Because it's not only squaring your home, it's squaring your work. It's squaring your Capricorn. So it's like up here you're getting crap and down here you're getting crap. Either way, work, home, work, home. It's this constant frustration and testing and tension. It's this 90-degree angle that's set up so it doesn't feel good. So I'm here to say that I see it on paper, I sympathize, I empathize, and I'm sorry. And all I can do is to offer for you full moon, release ceremonies, and I do my new moon, bringing in what do I want in my life ceremonies. If you ever want in on that, all you got to do is comment under the most recent video and reach out and say, hey, G, I need in on that ceremony. What are we doing? Are we doing what we want or what we're trying to release? And I will get back to you. I will let you know, and I will create, I will include you. Okay. On my end, I do the ceremonies. I have a great, beautiful fire. I create you a beautiful native prayer tie. It's an offering of tobacco to the earth and to the universe. And I work with all the energies. I work with the archangels. I mean, I combine all of my skills, all of my knowledge, what is natural for me. Yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful. And just know that there's somebody out there thinking of you. There's someone out there praying for you. There's somebody out there who's never met you, but who cares. We move along now, right? We get to the 5th and the 6th of this month. We've got Mercury going into Libra. So this means Mercury's going into the sign of relationships. Mercury's going into the sign of, okay, things need to be balanced. Things need to be fair. Mercury is going here, so this is good. I like this. I like this a lot. However, it is the cardinal sign, which means being cardinal, remember Mercury moves fast, so there will be a 1 day of hot communication. It's when Mercury gets closer to Mars, and at that time, Mars will be moving backwards already, okay? So this is like the 5th/6th. At this time, Mars is standing still. What you want to do is understand it's like there's no answer right now. There's no, okay, I can make this work. It's simply, this is too hot to touch, too hot to handle. Did I say tandle? I said tandle. Too hot to handle. So what we have to try to figure out is, how do we wait for the flames to dissipate a bit, to go down? And when the flames have gone down, then we engage, then we interact. I realize there are times when it feels as though we don't have a choice. Like we have to engage, we have to have an answer right then. All I'm suggesting is ask for more time. Ask for more time. What you want to do is allow some time to create some space, and then you can hopefully be in a clearer place to think before you have to make a decision or before you have to give an answer about something. These are difficult, tumultuous times. These are times where we are being asked to show our mastery. And it's hard because some of us have energies and understanding and wisdom and knowledge, and we know the way it should be. But we're also dealing with those who have no clue, who are newbies on multiple layers. And so they're not quite there yet. And it's the understanding that when we talk about compromise, because that's what the sign of Libra is, compromise, we may have to let go of some of our ideals, some of our idealistic goals to be able to get down or get over to here, to meet this other person here. And recognize that it can be a temporary fix. It can be just a Band-Aid to take care of the real deal later on, okay? Because right now, we're just trying to figure out how to not kill each other, how to not physically harm each other. We're just trying to figure out how to stay physically safe. We're trying to figure out how to keep ourselves safe, how to establish a sense of peace in our life, but we have to establish it here first. And so for Aries ascendant, I'm looking at your Libran energy, okay? And so typically your Libran energy, when Mercury gets there, like I said, like on the 5th of this month, your Libran energy is going to be in your 7th house, right? Because you've got Aries on your ascendant. So this is your relationships, right? This is your one-on-one, your marriage. This is your business partnerships. There could be a day, right, in the month of September where we get in there, where Mercury starts to move and starts to tighten up. And this will happen, to be more specific, because the 17th is a big date. We have a new moon on that day, and we're going to talk about more about that in a minute. I'm going to tell you what area of your life the moon is going to be in, because what you're going to want to know is what you're going to wish for based on that, right? We're being smart about how we wish. And so what's going to happen is, yeah, it's right around here. We get around the 20th. I'm just going to say the 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, okay? Start honing in on those days for September for you, because that is a time when we're going to see Mercury and Mars, they're going to be opposing each other. And when we have that opposing, there's that push-pull. There's this, this Mars is over here, what I want, and then we got Mercury over here, what we should want. But the beautiful thing is it's Mercury in the sign of we. So what happens is there's almost a possibility, a window of compromise that happens here. We've got Mars sending energy down to Mercury. So Mars is telling Mercury what I want. And Mercury is in the sign of Libra, meaning I want to figure out what we need, what we want, how we can move together as a unit. And so I think this is good. Now I have to see if there's anything squaring it. Of course there is, right? We all know Saturn's part of this, right? Saturn's still at 25, 26 degrees. And so Saturn is right there squaring Mercury. It's Saturn in Capricorn, my responsibilities, squaring the relationship, squaring Mercury in Libra. And it becomes difficult because it's like, well, isn't that your job to do that? No, it's your job. Well, I thought that you were going to take care of it. It sounds like one of those battles, but at the same time, this is your Capricorn energy. So this is the stuff at work happening, and that stuff at work then somehow is creating stress, right? These can be business relationships, but the point is it could possibly create stress in your significant one-on-one relationship. So that could be at home. This could be romance. This could be marriage, right? And so you're just going to understand that that's going to be there. That's an element that just is, and just understanding it's going to eventually move. It'll dissipate, but it's going to be strong because it's Mercury, it's Saturn, it's Mars. And it's not just that. There's a whole bunch of other stuff this month. So the whole point of me talking to you is to give you something to move forward with. Not to bring you down, but is to be real with you and to say, yes, this is a testing month. This is a time when we are basically being asked to make decisions. We have to choose. We have to decide what it is we want to do. How seriously, how bad do we want something? And we have to find a way to stay true to who we are, in the sense that I can't sacrifice my self-preservation. I have to know what it is. And I have to know it's not up to that person to know what it is that makes peace within me. I have to state what I need to have peace. And I need to make sure that that's being taken care of. I'm responsible for my happiness. And I know that's difficult to do when we're married. I know that's difficult to do when we're in business partnerships. When we have people in our lives, whether it's siblings or people who are really our besties, right? Where we feel like they should know what these things are. But there are times, especially now, where everybody is trying to make sure they're doing that for themselves. And so it's a matter of just simply stating, but this is what I need right now. Stay true to you. Stay true to what you need. Stay true to the spirit of compromise, and remember to be flexible. Mercury's is activating a lot of cardinal things right now. But when Mercury is in Libra, Libra energy actually will Mercury will trine the nodes at this time. Mercury in Libran energy trines the nodes in Gemini. So even though we're going to have this relationship thing where it's squaring, right? We've got my one-on-ones, myself and my career, my ambitions and my goals squaring off. We also have Mercury sending a perfect sweet trine to the north node and a nice sextile, I should say, to the south node. So adding ease to letting go of something, and a definite on where we're headed. Like, where are you headed? This is where we're headed. So I like this. I like this a lot. Now, this trine from Mercury doesn't occur roughly until we get closer to like the 22nd. at that time, that's when you're going to find some ease coming through, okay? Realizing this is energies on top of energies on top of energies. So because of this stuff is all happening so close together, it's like it's all happening simultaneously. So it's complicated, all right? It's complex, but you just got to be that mover and that shaker. Just be flexible. Just understand what you need, understand what somebody else wants, what they need. Try to do what's good for the group, for all involved. Try to learn how to compromise. If you haven't been, being flexible will work, but understanding nothing is permanent right now. We are not setting anything in stone as of right now. We think we are, but we're really not because of that North Node. It's moving through that Gemini energy, and it'll be doing this for all of 2020 and for all of 2021. So that means we're going to be constantly changing and tweaking. We're going to constantly get to a spot where we feel like we're on a plateau, where we're like, oh, okay, this feels comfortable, this works, this is good. And then something's going to change, and we're going to have to readjust again. Okay, so as long as you understand you're in a parachute and you have a path, you have a goal to hit, but then the wind comes along and it knocks you off your course, and you have to constantly readjust. That's kind of how this is for all of us. And so when we realize we're all going through this, it's like, okay, I get it. We just have to be understanding right now. We just have to understand things aren't going to happen as fast as we want them to. People aren't going to get it as fast as we want them to. People aren't going to have the same understanding that we have, and I don't understand what you understand. We just have to be more understanding of change and of differences. The main factor is honing in on, if it harm none, let it be done. So I'm not saying, oh yeah, you're doing that and you're going ahead and you're breaking all sorts of laws and you're hurting people and that's okay because you're different. I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying that at all. There needs to be structure, there needs to be order, and it needs to be within reason. And if you're doing anything that could possibly cause harm to another being, then you shouldn't be doing it. And I realize there's never something that satisfies everybody, but we have to work with what we got. We got to do the best that we can do. We have to present and be the best that we can be. I have a really good friend on YouTube. Her name is Chatting with Kay. It's Kay Dupree-Hamlet. She's got a great channel. And one of the things that she always says as she's closing out her show is, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Love yourself, love God, love others. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Always be ready. Be in a state of, okay, which way are we going, right? The whole bob and weave thing. That is the theme for the next 16 months. And so when we hone in on that, when we focus on that, when we understand that whatever is we're doing now may be changing in a month, maybe changing in 6 months, then we're like, okay, I realize that right now this is a period of experimentation. Aries ascendant, Aries risings, look at it as an experiment. Look at it as, okay, we're going to taste this. It's a taste test. We're going to try this and we're going to see where it takes us. Because then we have Venus going to be moving into the sign of Leo. And that becomes all about love and relationships and laughter and having a good time, wanting to do things that have a good time. So this is a blessing. The only thing about this is that these signs, they move pretty fast, okay? Jupiter standing still. Jupiter will stand still midway through the month around the 12th/13th. When Jupiter stands still, it means Jupiter is likely going to add to things, but I want you to remember, what were we going through in spring? When we think of spring, right? We think of, the end of February, March, April, that springtime. What things in our lives were we looking at then? What was happening? What was going on? We are reevaluating that time, and we are looking at the choices that were made then, and we're trying to see if those choices were good and what it is that we can either implement or let go of to move forward. And this is what this is going to be, because then at the end of this month, I'm going to talk about the new moon in a minute, but I'm going to jump all the way to the 29th. We have Saturn standing still. And when Saturn stands still, it'll be powerful. Saturn is rules and regulations. Saturn is the top dog, the chief of staff. I'm the boss. I'm the ruler. I am, Simon says. That's Saturn energy. So what happens when it stands still is all of a sudden it's like, wow, okay, you feel this very powerfully. It's in Earth because it's in Capricorn, but it's all about responsibilities. What is your responsibility? So especially parents who are working at home, but at the same time have kids at home, it's like their responsibilities just doubled. And so a lot of folks are trying to figure out what really truly is best for them with the knowing of, like, there's a pandemic, right? And so it's very difficult. It's like, oh my God, am I choosing, so that I can get my job done, which is important. We have to feed ourselves. But am I possibly putting my child in danger, right? Am I possibly putting myself in danger? There's all that going on, and it's very tricky. We just have to have faith, people. We have to have faith that the universe does want what's best for each of us. And what's best for you is not what's going to be best for G. What's best for G isn't going to be best for you over there. Yes, we are required to figure that out within our own lives. And believe it or not, the universe loves you. God, Father, Mother, Spirit loves you and does want what's best for you. And more than anything else, that energy wants for you to figure out what is best for you. That is the test. And it's hard. It is hard because we have all this input from here, saying, but this is what you should be doing. This is what you should be doing. Or this is what I want. This is what I want. And it's just like, wow, okay, great. And it's like this being pulled in multiple directions and not sure which way to go, not sure what's the best next step. But understanding this energetic change that's happening, okay? We're going to have Mercury does a lot of things this month, first of all. Mercury travels through Virgo, then it goes into Libra, and then at the end of the month, Mercury moves into Scorpio. Scorpio energy is all about behind the scenes, below the surface, Pluto power. It is all about what your soul wants you to do. It is about allowing your soul to take control, and having Mercury there, I think, is a beautiful thing. What's going to happen is that when Mercury being in Scorpio, when it gets to 10 degrees, it's going to be tricky. Okay. And so that's going to happen in the next month. All right. That happens come October. And October is an interesting month. I'm going to save that for the next video that I put out. But know, folks, that there's a lot of fight mentality there, and it's at home, it's out there in the world, it's at the job. There's a lot of stress, tension, and friction. And the best thing you can do is to know what your sacred space needs, to make sure you have a place that you can call sacred, to know that whether you're in your home or whether you have to leave the home, go outside somewhere. I don't know. I don't know how you are living. Some people, they just get in the car and they drive. And if that's what you do, then please do it. Some people, they get creative. And that's always my recommendation, because creative energy, like when we have Venus going through Leo, that's going to be a really beautiful creative time. Leo energy loves to create. It's our sun energy. It's how we shine. It is the energy of procreate. And so we really want to hone in on that. But does that mean go ahead and jump in the bed and start procreating? No, it means elevate that energy. Put it to canvas. Put it to paper. Start writing. Start singing. Start speaking. Do whatever you got to do. Play the piano. Do the drums. Paint. Like whatever it is you do to create. Some people gardening, right? Harvesting, the time for harvesting. Create in any way that you feel. Now for Libra, Ascendant Libra rising, my gosh, I look at your fifth house. That's the house of creativity for you. Your fifth house has Leo energy there, okay? So you're going to have Venus there. Venus is all about love, all about relating, all about what I value. But so valuing having a good time is a big deal. Entertainment, kind of a little risky. Venus likes to, in the sign of Leo, it's going to be all about what I need. Now, this could be a time of eating the good things that you need too, right? The self-indulgence stuff, right? Like, oh, I haven't had this. And that's okay. Everything within moderation, but we need to treat ourselves. And so Venus going into Leo, what I like about this, it's me honing in on doing something I probably haven't done in a while. I used to love doing this when I was a kid. Please do it. Whatever that may be, please do it. It'll give you some nurturing. It'll be a way you can self-nurture. It'll be a way where you make you happy. The new moon is on the 17th of September. You're going to place your wishes either before you go to bed on the 16th or extremely early on the morning of the 17th. I am in a Central Standard Time zone, so depending upon where you are, for me, it happens at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. Now, the reason I give out the times is because we want to place wishes on that day, but we want it to be within the range of when the moon is still at the 25-degree mark, because that's where the sun and the moon hook up at 25 degrees in Virgo energy. So let's talk about this for you. This is all in your sixth house. Your sixth house. Sixth house is your work projects, health projects, health routines, work routines, habits, work routines. It all comes down to your day-to-day routines, your day-to-day living, what projects you have to do, right? We get up, we go make coffee. We get up, we have a bowl of fruit. We get up, we just have water. We get up, we have nothing. Everybody has their own different little routines, whatever it is that they do. Eat nothing. They leave the house and they stop somewhere. It's part of their normal morning routine. Virgo energy is all about that. It's our habits. It's our routines. So it's also involving hygiene and health I've always known about the whole hygiene aspect, but it's like, yeah, I'm going to tell you about your hygiene. Since the ugly bug, since the virus, we do talk about hygiene in a whole different way now. Understanding that when we have a new moon there, it's all about implementing new routines, new habits. So what, and this is the universe, by the way, this isn't G telling you this, this is the universe showing me that because there's a new moon in Virgo, and I can see for you, it happens in your 6th house, because this is in your 6th house, it's the health of your health, it's the health of your work, it's the health of your job, it's the routines, the projects at your job. So you want to stay focused on this. There might be new job routines that are going to occur or that need to occur, or you want to occur, health routines that you would like to implement. This is the new moon to do just that. It is a time when you can use the power of the universe, the knowledge of the universe, the wisdom of the universe to say, hey, this is what I'm going to need going forward. This is why I've been talking about saying, figuring out what do you need to stay healthy? What do you need to stay sane? What do you need to establish emotional security in your life? Emotional security will bring you your sense of ease and peace and the understanding that things get rough, right? Even though the waters kind of start to get choppy and there's a little bit of bouncing around that goes on, at the end of the day, you know, you can relax, you can rest, you have a place where you can go to call your own, where it is sacred space for you, and doing whatever that is that you do. And honing in on that, establishing that to a degree so it helps your health, because your health is in focus here. The 6th house is the health of your body. Now it's in Virgo. So Virgo has everything to do with our digestion. So maybe there's new things you should eat or things you should not eat, new things you should implement in your daily routine. Some people are like, okay, I got to have my oats every day. I got to have my yogurt every day. I got to start incorporating more, like taking acidophilus, like, you know, probiotics. Virgo energy in the 6th, it is all about the tummy. It is all about, I eat something and it just, you know, like, it, you know, some are lactose intolerant, you know, they can't handle dairy. It just depends on who you are, depends on what other things you have going on in your chart, but it just comes down to you paying attention to you, you knowing for you what you need, you knowing for you what does not work for you. And you might have to tweak that. You might have to be fine-tuning that. Some people have to go through, you know, allergy testing where they have to like it's like a process of elimination. They an elimination diet type thing, and then they slowly bring individual things back in and pay attention to see what the results are, to see how they feel, to see how the body responds. So this is a time when the universe is putting the power there for you to say, yes, it is a time to establish new health routines, new work routines, new healthy habits, new things to help you in your body. And this is the universe's way of saying, we're here to support you. We are going to bless you with the power of the universe in your hand. Cha! So for Aries, I know you're going to like this because I know that you've been going through some stuff, but understanding the intimacy, the intimate deep connectivity of your emotions. That is the emotional body, right? And I'm saying Virgos because it's Virgo energy in the 6th house. I know you're Aries ascendant, but for Virgo energy, it's about understanding that what you hold here affects what happens here. So the last little thing I'm going to leave you with is that Saturn standing direct. So understanding it's the location of work, the location of home, and the location of you physically, your body and your ascendant, right? It's your 1st house, it's your 10th house, it's your 4th house. It's Saturn standing still. And then Saturn's going to go direct. And what's going to happen when Saturn starts moving direct? It will then eventually get out of the Capricorn. This is your long-term, this is my hope down at the end of the road. This is that light at the end of the tunnel. Saturn and Capricorn, Saturn is going to join up with Jupiter at the butt end, like they're going to be at 29 degrees of Capricorn. It will happen in December. Yes, I know that is some time away, but it is a window of hope because once it gets out of Capricorn, it will no longer be squaring you, Aries. Once it gets out of Capricorn, it'll then go into the sign of Aquarius. Okay? And it should give you some ease. It's not just Saturn, Jupiter's going to be moving too. And Jupiter's going to go into Aquarian energy hand in hand with Saturn, and that will change things. So your Aquarian energy for you is going to be all up in your 11th house of group energy. So it's moving into group. It's structures within group, beneficial structures within group because it's Jupiter and Saturn together. So it's things that will help those group activities. Now, this is also the 11th house, right? This is all about being very creative and thinking outside of the box, getting information from the mind of God. This is astrology. It's the internet. It's all about social media platforms and understanding that we're going to be looking at a different way of how we relate in matters of groups. It's an understanding to keep the greatest good for all involved at the top of your head while at the same time not sacrificing your individuality. You've got the power of positivity. You've got the power of fearlessness. You've got the energy and the fire and the drive to go. But at the same time, you have that Virgo energy in that 6th house, which is Virgo is all about, I know how to connect the dots. I see the vision there, right? But not only do I, because not everybody can see a vision, have a vision, and know the steps that it takes to get to that vision. Virgo energy is that. So you have that in terms of for your health. You have that in terms of for work and health routines and work routines, your job. You got it. Be patient because what you're waiting for everybody to catch up to you.